Say hi, friends. Say hi, friends. See,
What is his obsession?
come here. Bring him back here.
He loves my lap.
Come here. Don't go hide in your mama's lap yet. Come here. You want to slap? You want to play? Want to play? Hi, y'all. Happy Friday.
Oh my gosh. Guess who came out today? Post Malone and Morgan Wallen's new song.
Oh, yay.
So exciting.
So not exciting.
So exciting.
Say hi, friends.
Best thing
Say what you guys all doing. Say what do you guys want to talk about today? Do you guys want me to go through and show you the dog handler stuff and how much ridiculousness that is? Do you want me to go through the call and show you how they're re-victimizing a victim and it's purely disgusting? Or do you guys want me to do a little bit of all of it? Because we have so much to get through. Do you want me to show you how they're harassing and stalking Chris at the campground again and trying to cause disturbances in the campground area? What do you guys want to talk about today? Because the list is never ending and there's just a million and one. We still have more psychics to get through too. But the dog handler, okay.
That looks like Smush.
We can do the dog handler. Dog handler.
Mom.
Okay.
That's exactly like Smush.
The dog handler will be Jay for Justice and then allegedly with no brain cells. Okay. We can do that. Hey, Sweet and Sleuthy.
What do you want?
Dog handler and Chris being stalked. Okay, all of it. Okay. All right.
Mom, show them this.
No, it looks like you got a hickey on the bottom of your chin.
Yeah, it's when you cat.
You weirdo. You weirdo.
Basically is because he bites it.
Look at here. Show it again. Tip your head all the way back. Kenzie's got little love bites on her chin from the little one. From the little one. Oh, y'all, that's too much. There's too much going on. Absolutely, they do. It's so bad, y'all. This is getting scary. Like, it's to the point where if law enforcement and TBI doesn't, I don't even know what they can do, but some people need to be charged with stalking, harassing, interfering with an active investigation. Something needs to be done. Cease and desist need to go out. Privacy complaints need to be hit. Attorneys need to be hired, in my opinion. Good morning. Hey, Christina. Hey, Beefergs. This is the little rodent. The little bobblehead. Dexter's outside. He had his treats. But he won't let me. He keeps trying to get between me and the kitten.
Watch. Let me see you get it. What are you doing? What are you doing?
He's just a goober.
What are you doing?
Isn't he cute? He, she. We're not sure yet. He's starting to play a little bit.
Stand up. Watch.
Yeah, Sweet and Sleuthy. I tried to validate her. She says she's public and she, she said her husband's worked in law enforcement 45 years and that he's a sheriff and a PI. That's kind of a conflict of interest usually. Usually they retire from law enforcement before. And then she talked about flying on a private plane and being able to carry whatever they want as far as weapons goes. Like the whole thing, there's just so many holes in the story. So many holes in the story. But I wanted to know what you guys wanted to talk about because I have it all time stamped and ready to go. So
look at his belly. Oh
we'll just start in a little bit. I've got a few more things I need to do.
Show them his belly, like up close.
Traders, right?
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but if you're going to go and just start like going all over, there was so many dogs brought in. Here's the part that people are missing it, and I'm tempted. One of my really, really good in real life friends is dating one of the top dog trainers in the state of Idaho, like canine trainers. He trains law enforcement animals. He's very, very up to date on all of the different types, scent, everything like that. I'm tempted to have him come on and explain to the public, like, why this is kind of counterproductive to do all this stuff and people just rummaging around. Like the scent, we are over 2 months out. Cadaver dogs, yes, but they're very specific. So many people have had dogs in there. Yeah, he's 6'5", 300 pounds, but you know, his badge basically. If you're law enforcement in California and you're not on duty, you're just a civilian like the rest of us. No matter if you have a badge from California, your badge would do you no good in Tennessee whatsoever. There's so many holes in the story. So many holes in the story. I'm tempted to ask him to come on and talk about it because it's just not how it goes. It's just not. I actually had to call and ask questions because I was like, this is not making sense. Like, to even bring animals in right now would be counterproductive. And then she has to allude to some sort of hit that they got. Yeah. By the way, for those of you that might not be aware, that call was intentionally released yesterday. For those of you that don't realize, that call happened right after the Web Sleuths interview happened because Chloe made it obvious to everybody and was dangling this private information publicly. She was using it, like dangling it in their face, like, haha, I have this information. I know this information. So of course, Chris is going to be upset about it, but it was released yesterday because Chris's custody case with Nina started. So it was intentionally saved and released yesterday specifically for that reason. Oh, by the way, Thor, did you know that you work with Mark W. according to CJ and Charlie, which we know isn't true? By the way, that is not factual, so please don't run with it. It came from CJ, but CJ's making comments. I've got him too if you need to see him. That Mark and Thor work with Charlie. Just like Thor was once Chris Proudfoot. Thor was also some guy driving a gold Suburban, chasing people around. Thor's been all sorts of people. And really, Thor's just over here hanging out with his hammer. Leave him be. Yes, seriously. No, they can get so if you have a dog, this is what I was explained by my friend's boyfriend, guy he's dating, and he would like he's an incredible. He's super super smart and has all sorts of knowledge with these dogs, but he works strictly with law enforcement pretty much and government entities and things like that. So, he's got a different perception of all this as is, just from jump. He's very professional. So, bloodhounds or cadaver dogs, whichever they're using for a cadaver dog, they don't need a scent of the child. They go off of odors, in the area. They're looking for odors. But there's already been those dogs in the area. Plus, what they're attempting to do, from my understanding with these dogs and all of the interviews and things that we've heard, they're trying to gain access to the house like private civilians. Meanwhile, how many people with their animals were there right afterwards? The scent, as it further goes, they can sometimes pick up, like, say somebody was still out in the woods and they took an article, they can kind of pick up on that, but the scent diminishes over time. So it's not, yeah. Anyways, but they're just making this whole thing out of dogs and saying that they can do better than whatever. Yeah, and then you have the people that have been in there. I think they said something like 18 different dogs, and I'm not just saying my number because of that. Oh, I found my hammer from last night. Um, there's been a ton of canine, different, scent trained animals in the area. So you have people coming from all the way from California on a private plane because they care so much. Yeah, something ain't adding up here. There's a whole lot of not adding up. And truthfully, this was a decision between the Proudfoot family and law enforcement to not allow them access to specific areas because those areas have been previously cleared. And here we are now. Like, I'm sorry, all these professionals who are now coming out publicly stating that they're professional, I wouldn't want to work with any of you guys. Y'all are fucking the furthest from professional. And I'm sorry, but a canine handler who's denied access to a property, that happens all the time. And you are telling me that you're such a big fan of Jay for Justice that you're just sitting there waiting for the opportunity to call in? Miss me with the bullshit. None of the math is mathing. Yeah, yes, yeah. And she's bawling. We need answers. Ma'am, you aren't, sit the fuck down. You aren't related, family, anything like that. Like, this is too far. Beefergs, so the lady's name is Stephanie. I was just trying to do a little bit more research on her. She says she's super public and doesn't care. She has nothing to hide. She's so transparent. So she claims her husband, get this. And this is what I'm going to show. I'll show you guys and walk through all of this. I just wanted to ask what you guys wanted to see today because my brain is so scattered. I have like 50 different things we could do for debunking misinformation or pointing out how crazy this has gotten. So we'll kind of wrap it all into one. But in the one interview that she talks about how her husband's been a law enforcement officer for 45 years. I'm assuming they're in Southern California because she talked about they haven't flown on a private jet since right after the Kobe incident, which was fucking weird. So she's flying out of, I think Orange County would be John Wayne. Is that right, Beefrix? Anyways, she says her husband's been a law enforcement officer for 45 years, but he's also a PI, conflict of interest, to be both at the same time usually. So maybe he retired from law enforcement, but he's like not just law enforcement, like he's been law enforcement and has a badge. Like the way she talks is just ridiculous. Yeah, yeah, there's so many things that you guys will pick out of this. Yeah. And then of all places, she calls in. She calls. Yes, I know. But she doesn't. Did she drop his name anywhere? Has anybody heard her actually name drop their search and rescue organization that they have, that they volunteer? Her husband's name? Has anybody heard that? According to what I understand, she's got the bloodhounds. They must be privately owned. She's got the bloodhounds, and then she also has 4 other. She states it in this interview. We're gonna listen to it. Yeah, something doesn't make sense here. And she's gone on multiple. Now, I will say the other girl, Julie is definitely more skilled, more professional, if I say that. But that kind of ran its course for me too, because Julie is going on channels and giving interviews, but Julie actually showed her dogs, and she's works with the military or the US government. So I don't know. There's just too much weird shit going on. Which one is on panel crying over CJ's message? Hold on. I missed something. Beefers, as soon as I find out, like if I can track any verifiable information down, I'll tell you who this, like what rescue they're with or anything, because so far I'm not having any luck to like vet. She says, we're so transparent. I dropped my phone number in the chat, and then goes on to just say all this crazy shit. Crazy shit. Okay, we'll watch it. We will watch it. Yeah, she's bawling, you guys. Yeah, we're going to watch it from the perspective of Jay for Justice. That one. I'll skip Julie's because Julie actually is more professional and knows what she's talking about. But I think she was probably the one that agreed that there was nothing more she could really do because of all of the extensive searches before. She claims that they went out there and started searching, like this random people from Tennessee just flew out there with no permission and just started searching, and there was a confrontation basically. It's so weird. Oh, they wanted to say I was drinking. Oh my God, let them say it. Let them say whatever. They can think I'm drinking. Meanwhile, I haven't had an alcoholic beverage. I wish I could. I really do. I miss having a drink occasionally. Julie, yeah, Julie seems real. Erin, I didn't see your email dump yet, but I will definitely check. But Julie definitely seems legit. Um, she didn't bother me as bad because she wasn't inserting herself like this other lady. Yeah, I will. I definitely will because something here with the Stephanie chick. We're gonna look at the Stephanie pieces. Julie is definitely legit. Like she was very clear, but she also wasn't inserting herself. Like she was making it understandable of how dogs work and the to my opinion only, but stating that there would be very less likely a chance for scent after so much time it diminishes. Like she was being realistic in her description of it. I think she kind of got hung up with Sumner County, and I think what they're not understanding is there has been so many teams in there already. I think that's kind of the miscommunication there. But she wasn't near as bad. You they can say whatever. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We'll look at them. Sophie, I do too. I That's my problem. Thank you, Erin. Sweet and sleuthy. I think we all would. I would love to have a glass of alcohol right now. What the hell? Hey, Chico. Crazy shit, though. Hey, SoFlo. Thank you for the Mother's Day wish. Same back to you. Yeah, it's Mother's Day weekend. My mother-in-law's, they're coming over on Sunday. Music City Mom, and that's what I don't understand. And this whole call thing being used. Y'all, when there's so much happening. Oh no. You should see the shit happening on Twitter. If you guys don't know what a cesspool that place is an utter cesspool. But JLR's over there posting videos of the people driving by the camper, stalking Chris again, blaring on their horn, doing all this insanity. And then everybody's like, ooh, let's try to track down all the other people. Like, it's just nonstop. I wish law enforcement would step in and something has to be done. And I can't overlook the fact that most of this is coming from Seth's team. Like, is about this video being released. Chris has every right to be as pissed as, I'm sorry. Chris has every right when you are weaponizing trauma to try and paint a narrative that should have never been released. It has nothing to do with Sebastian being missing. Plus, people don't even understand what's going on. You can hear some of the story if you listen and pick up under and understand what's going on. You can hear how severe this is. And they are out here intentionally releasing these calls. But that goes back to this PI. These PIs should not have licenses. Period. Point blank. End of story. So Chico, that phone call happened between Heather the PI and and Chris. And what transpired was Chloe, the other PI of Seth, had gone on Web Sleuth and she made a statement about having information on Katie and her family. And she basically was taunting, in my opinion, them like, haha, I have this information and I know this information, but I'm not going to release it, kind of thing. And so when Chris addressed Heather, because that was something that he's protecting his wife, he's absolutely protecting his wife because law enforcement had that information, has all of the information, knows who her family is. Like they did all of this in the first 72 hours. Everything that they've ever done, who they're related to, was all turned over, discussed, I'm positive, within the first 3 days. Seth has even stated that all three of them were there for the first 3 days. So what she was doing was taunting them like, we have this information. And first and foremost, if it was a minor, those information would be sealed, which if you listen to the phone call, you'll understand it was a minor. And the only way they could have gotten that information was by somebody confirming that information, which would be, in my opinion, Seth. So why is Seth intentionally releasing information that has nothing to do with Sebastian being missing that's already being fully investigated by law enforcement? just for a show. And then the phone call was held. It was released to people by Heather, the PI, that she trusted. And they held on to it and specifically waited till yesterday to release this call to paint a narrative about Chris, because yesterday was the start of his child custody case with Nina. And I've got comments that prove that everybody knew about that it was intentionally released. Have some of them from CJ's comment. Yep. Yeah, it's character assassination. Yep. That's Josh Thor. He's a piece of shit. There's more going on too right now. Yeah, he was absolutely protecting his wife, rightfully so. Rightfully so. Everybody else has seemed to groom her, abuse her, use her. So for once, somebody is standing in and doing what all these other people, including, the father of her child, should have done all of these years. Chris is doing that, but he's being made out to be the bad guy. And if I see one more, he should be in prison. He wasn't even there. Law enforcement has, what are these people doing? Rondi, yes, from my understanding, yes. I can't say for sure. People are people are going to the extent that saying law enforcement released this call because only law enforcement and the PI should have had this call, and they're also blaming Chris for releasing this call. I doubt Chris probably even realized he was being recorded at first. Gave permission, he could have, but Seth, I don't know if he gave the permission, but this is his PIs that did it. Is this why she stepped down so she could do this later on? I don't know. Oh, Josh is yeah. Yeah, ASD, she said it was the John Wayne out of Orange County, I think. I don't think he knew he was being recorded either. Heather put out a fucking cover her ass statement. Well, first of all, she shouldn't have a license. And let me tell you, if there's a way to make complaints, I will be making a complaint. You're damn right. Because we can't have PIs out here cold calling missing people, family members of missing people, and then turning around and creating so much chaos and drama and confusion and conflict, and we still have a missing child. These PIs have successfully done everything to undermine law enforcement's investigation and completely smear. And these people should not have licenses or working with missing people. And you can say whatever you want. I tell you guys what I feel and I stand on it. But I will be, if there's a way to make complaints, I absolutely will be doing so. Ooh, Beefergs. Yeah, private jet. I don't think she gives the time when she was there. The whole thing, when we listen to it, I'll go get ready and finish my little chore here, and then I'll pull them all out. I just wanted to ask you guys, though, because this dog thing bothers me. Chico, I don't know if he did or not yet. I'm not sure if he knew. Thor, well, you're so amazing that you've got everybody thinking that you've got a whole team of people out here. You're going to have to tell your wife, by the way, honey, I'm all these different people. Did you know you married, when you married me, you married all these other people too? Oh, the date. Yeah. I will see if we can find any more. They can't. Unfortunately, Terry, they can't. Like, I genuinely, well, I can't say that. I know that they have a close relationship, or not a close relationship, but there's a couple people that have been really in their corner supporting them, beyond us too, that have been nothing but amazing to them or trying to be amazing to them. And, we don't have any answers, but trying to help as much as anybody can and keep Sebastian awareness and factual information about Sebastian out there. There is a couple of those. I don't think everybody, they can't trust anybody, but right now they need to go on assume every phone call that they have is being going to be released and recorded. But you see here, the funny thing, They had calls with Seth. Why aren't they releasing those calls with Seth? Do you get this whole thing? Yes, put a 1 in the chat if you've been blocked by the lab. There should be, Stephanie, yes. There should be a board I'm trying to look into because I know the one's licensed in Kentucky and I think Tennessee, so I'm going to look into them. Thor, she's going to be so confused about all of your alter egos and how many men she's actually been. Holy shit, have you all been blocked over there? Oh my gosh, you guys are funny. Yeah, where are the calls with Seth? Why aren't those being released? Because it's intentional to paint a narrative. Yesterday was the first court date. Again, they've been talking about it in chats. They actually acknowledged that it was intentional to do that. It's all character assassination. And when you guys find out some more stuff, there's some stuff that in time, in time, your minds are going to be blown. And by the way, just so I say it right now, if any of the court custody stuff gets released publicly, that should be, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, this is coming out of New Mexico, but family court documents should be sealed because it involves a minor child. So the only way that these court records of their custody stuff would get released is if Nina or somebody close to Nina releases them publicly to somebody. So if anybody gets a hold of those court documents, the transcripts, all of that, because it does involve a minor child, which should be protected and sealed, it absolutely should be. I hope they requested that. But if anybody gets a hold of that, we know right now that Nina and her team have released it, which would be intentional too, which I don't. I have a full inclination that that will happen. And I have a feeling it will be the lab once again and somebody else playing that. So you already know. And yes, you can check New Mexico family court records and find that out yourself. By the way, whoever said that these ladies were well-respected PIs, you fucking lie. You lie. You lie. All of you lie. There ain't not one single hair in my body that would ever. And I'm just going to say this. To all you people saying you stand by the victims, you're using a private call to paint a narrative about a man trying to protect a victim. A man that is sick and tired of watching somebody he loves and care about be re-victimized by things that she had no saying. She was a child. Hey, Joe. Holy shit, y'all got blocked over there. Josh B, could they sue? Yes and no. So defamation cases are extreme. Slander, you would have to start off with a cease and desist, which I wish they had an attorney, truthfully. I really do. I wish there was some way we could help them with a legal fund to get them going. By the way, there's not even a reward fund. I found that out listening to Clue today. There's not a reward like there was said to be too, which is another fucking, what the fuck? That was all Seth. He's got a whole GoFundMe. Why not? I don't know. I have so many questions. Chico. Hey, Andy. You guys. Shit, what was I saying? I have reading your comments and I got completely. Oh yeah, Claire. These are some of the lowest scumbags I've ever seen. You guys are re-victimizing a victim though, and you say you stand beside the victims. Well, you're doing everything but that, and I cannot wait till the day that all of you get slapped with it. Oh, as far as the lawsuits, so if it was me personally, this is my opinion and what I would suggest. This would be my suggestion to any family member, though. And not because of the implication that they're guilty or anything like that, but I also don't shame anybody when a situation like this is going on to hire an attorney. Um, I think hiring an attorney is a must for anybody going through this. I think they would start with cease and desist personally, which you don't have to have an attorney to do, but I would. I would, because I would know that most of these people are going to laugh at the cease and desist, rip them up, and carry right along. So at least you have something already established with the attorney. And then personally, I would spend my time doing privacy strikes on some stuff, which I don't know if it would work. And I would try to have some sort of legal something with the back end of YouTube, truthfully. Because missing children aren't even supposed to be on thumbnails, from my understanding. Yeah, well, there's not one anyways, even that. Yes, Andy, I got it. I went and got it. Thank you. I left after you said that and went and got it. I went and time stamped it. Josh B, I do. It's in the links are in my bio. No, Shorty, there wasn't though. That's the crazy part. That is non-existent. I was listening to it. Oh, was 1111 in there, Rondi? Wait, Rondi, don't you go over to 1111? 1111 is nothing but scum, just so everybody is aware. Like, that lady is berserk. She is out of sorts and needs, I think the only reason why I remember her, because she said your name one time when I was reviewing her. But she is something else. Oh, so she's basically trying to put it off that Seth shared it. So Seth shared it. That's Kimberly. That's the implication that has been going on, is that her camp didn't share it. She shared it with somebody else. However, why did she share it with Seth to begin with? I mean, if she's really unbiased and trying to just get to the bottom of it, she would address her colleague and never released it. So it still goes back to her, in my opinion. But we know who Seth's team is out here on YouTube. T-Rev, Josh, Trev Time. Sorry, I'm not going to, even though he's off YouTube. Yeah. Anyways, I can't overlook Trev Time's association with Nina and how that all came about through Seth too. She is dangerous, Rondi. She is. Then you've got Jay for Justice, which I don't think she has anything to do with the team. She's just Hail Marying all of her bullshit at the wall because she don't give two fucks. And she's been sued before, so why would she care? Then you've got the PIs. Chloe is the one that brought in the RSO to search for Sebastian, which would be Brothers Underwater Recovery. Brothers Underwater Recovery is connected to CJ. Terry Lynn is connected to Seth, who's connected to Charlie, who's been out there searching. Like, if you look at the actual foundation, we could draw a whiteboard, an entire whiteboard, and show you all the connections of these people, and it all goes back to Seth. Every bit of it. Not talking trash about Seth, but it is what it is. 1111 is, oh, y'all, she's scary. Terry, I would say it's common procedure for PIs to record their conversations to go back and remember later, or pull for information from a conversation. I think that's standard procedure to record calls. At least it would be for me. If I was in that capacity, I would absolutely record all the phone calls to document and have them in case of need for law enforcement. But releasing it to the opposite, that's where it comes a problem to me. Like, recording the call to me seems standard procedure for a PI. Taking it further seems unethical. You guys want to draw a whiteboard? Yes, Audacity, 100%. That's how Trev Time got hooked up with Nina to do this salacious BS that people are still running with, that we have no verifiable proof to even know that any of that story is true. Again, I believe all victims, but there's just a lot of red flags in that don't factually add up if we're talking in reality, because there would be police reports to back this stuff up and somebody would have already found them. Like, there's a lot of issues. Hey, MK. Rondi, I think I remember her. I don't remember if she yelled at you. I just remember she said your name. And I was like, that's why I recognized it today. Because she's scary. Yeah, we're gonna look at that. We're gonna look at that, Michael, today. That's what we decided on. We're gonna do the dog handler stuff. Yes, Kathy, we can do. Let's do that. We'll do that. Let me go. I have it upstairs in my office. I think I have a whiteboard, an entire whiteboard, and I'll get my whiteboard markers out. We will do it. Hey, Am, I was getting your messages that you were sending. Thank you so much for keeping an eye on all that stuff. I forwarded it where it needed to go. So thank you. All of you guys have been so helpful because we're collecting stuff on all of these different platforms. TikTok's the one that none of us really get to because it's so crazy. But keeping track of all this stuff, because at some point in time this needs to end, and I am so afraid of what's going to happen to the next family. It's not when, it's only when, it's not if. It will happen to another family. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that today too. Well, that's what we'll do. We'll do a whiteboard and list all of the people that have been brought in under this team. We'll draw it all out. We'll set it behind us, and then we'll have something to go on. It gives me a nightmare. I have a migraine. I'm a note taker. Most of you guys know that. I have notebooks all over my house with all sorts of stuff, like so many lists and connections, and I have notes everywhere. So we'll do that today, and then we'll do the dog handlers. Okay, so give me an hour and a half, 2 hours, 1 o'clock my time. So 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. It'll probably be a longer live because we're going to go over all of the handler stuff, and then we'll kind of touch base on these other moving pieces and just glimpse at them. We'll look at J for Justice, CJ, and allegedly without a brain cell. Well, it's not alleged, it is without a brain cell. And their BS with the handlers. I've got them downloaded. And then we will do our whiteboard with the team members, and we'll just keep that and keep adding to it as more comes out, and we can trace it all back. That work? So 1 o'clock my time, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 3 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. Okay, perfect. All right, y'all. I will see you guys in a little bit. Thank you for helping me decide. And then I've got 3 more psychics to add to the list. We're up to 58 just on YouTube, and some of them have redone readings over the last 2 days too. Okay. Yes, that's perfect. It gives you time to go say howdy to the lab and get blocked. All of you, be nice. Nonsense sent me over here to get blocked. Thor, keep your hammer to yourself. Don't be mean to these people. You know, you have so many personalities to keep up with out here running around. Poor Thor. All right, y'all. I will see you guys in a little bit. In 2 hours, it's 11:11. Why does that? I used to like the 11:11 thing, but now since 11:11 true crime, that nutbag, and yes, I'm calling her a nutbag. She is. She's dangerous. She's going to get somebody hurt in one of these cases. Now I don't like it, but anyways. Okay, see you guys in a little bit. Bye, y'all.